watching Live Prog. Enjoy the music.
Alright then. Well, we are here at the boerderij, Zoetermeer, with Mark Colton from Credo.
Hiya. Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, glad to finally meet you.
Yeah, at last. I mean, we've been talking for a couple of years, haven't we? So,
it's true. Always email and
always email, so,
never in person. So it's very nice.
Yeah, it's good to meet you at last.
Definitely. And well, I'm very happy, of course, that Credo is performing here at the I.O. Pages Festival.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit of were you invited to play here, or how did it? How did you guys get up?
Well, we played here with Blind Ego a couple of years ago, and we've kept in contact with Ari, and there was always the opportunity to come back, and we wanted to tie in with the new album. The new album just came out this week, so this is one of the official launch gigs of the album, so it was a huge opportunity for us to come and play our favourite venue. And bring the new album with us, so we're looking forward to the show tonight.
Well, that's very nice. Okay, so you hear it, a new album out. The album is called?
Against
a
Reason.
Tricky one.
It's called Against Reason, sorry.
Yeah.
I can never remember. I forgot, last week on stage I forgot what the album was called, which was really, really embarrassing.
Okay, so, well, the new album is out.
Yep.
That's, well, very nice. Now, it's only the third Credo album.
Yeah.
It's not a very quick process.
No, well, we formed in I think the first album came out in 1994, and then the second album came out in 2005. Most of that was down to the fact that I was very ill. I had a bad disease and had to have a lot of operations, a lot of surgery, and that took a large chunk of our time.
Yeah.
Had 4 big operations over 5 years, and that just basically took the whole 5 years out.
Yeah.
This album has taken a little bit longer than we hoped. We did, when Rhetoric came out in 2005, we started touring to support it, and we played around the UK a lot, and we were getting really good receptions. And we came out and we played at Prog Festival, and then that was going to be it. We weren't going to do any more shows with the Rhetoric tour.
Yeah.
And I had to have some more surgery, so it lost my operations. And we ended up losing about 14 months because of that. And we started to write the new album during that period. Then what happened was, in late 2007, we were offered the opportunity, or we were being spoken to about going out to play in Rosfest in the United States. And the stipulated that they wanted us to play the Rhetoric show. So we're all getting on now, so we just thought, well, it's an opportunity to go to America. The first time we never got a chance to play in the States.
Yeah.
We relearnt the whole of the set and took the set out and played it in America. And we were hoping that was going to be the last date of the Rhetoric tour, so that was May 2008. The reception we got from that show was unbelievable, and our album sales just absolutely took off.
Yeah.
And we were then contacted by Metal Mind, and asked if we'd like to go and do a DVD shoot in Poland.
Okay.
So this was great, but all the time it was pushing back the new album.
Yeah.
Because we had to keep rehearsing, and we had to keep doing warm-up shows, and then it was like, well, if we're going to be playing a gig out in Poland, we might as well do some other dates. It was a nice problem to have. It just dragged on and on and on, and then finally, again, just as we were writing the new album, and we were offered the opportunity by Ari to come out and play at Uden, at DePaul, and to play here and to play the Rock Temple with Blind Ego. And again, it was too good an opportunity to miss. But after that, we said, right, that's it. Otherwise, we're going to be doing this forever, and we've got to get the new album done. So. And that's why the new album's taken quite a long time. In our defence, there was a live album in between the last two, so it's only 2 years since we released an album, only 2 years.
Yeah, well, that's very nice to hear. Well, of course, well, I know the DVD. This Is What We Do,
Yeah,
live
absolutely.
in Poland, which
Yeah.
is an absolute fantastic DVD.
No, thank you.
So it's that gave me a chance to see
Yeah, to see
Credo
what we were-
in live in action. Well, hopefully, no, not hopefully. Edit.
Yeah.
No, at the I.O. Pages Festival, even the Dutch people and hopefully also some new fans can see the
Yeah,
band.
hopefully, yeah.
Will you be playing material from the new album?
Yeah, tonight we're playing 4 songs from the 8 of the new songs on the album, and we'll be playing 4 songs from Rhetoric as well because people still want to hear them.
Yeah.
And also 1 song which isn't on either of the albums, which is on the This Is What We Do DVD, which is a song called Round and Round, which seems to have surprised a lot of people that it's not on the new album because that's one everybody knew.
Yeah.
We believe, and time will tell I guess, that the 8 new songs on Against Reason are stronger or are as strong as Round and Round, and as we'd been playing Round and Round for a period of time we thought no, we've done that, it's
okay.
And this is the new album. So
Okay, so that song is only on the live album.
it's only on the live
available.
album.
Okay.
Yeah, we have recorded it in the studio.
Yeah.
And it's slightly different to the live arrangement. The chances are it'll probably become available at some point, but the album comes in at the moment at 70 minutes. If we'd put Round and Round on it, it would have taken it over 80 minutes, and CD wouldn't have, we couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't want to drop any of the new material.
Okay.
So, and we think it's better for people that hopefully they're not replicating, duplicating songs they've already got. So, but we'll do something with it. I'm not sure yet whether it'll be a download or whether it'll be a single or quite what. So.
Okay. Oh, that's nice because I too was expecting the song to be on the new album.
I was as well. I've got to be honest. I was up until about a month ago, and when I heard how great the new songs were sounding by that stage, it was like he actually got a point there.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Now, yesterday you told me that about a month ago you were still recording.
Yeah, absolutely.
The album. So
yeah.
how long did it take to complete the album?
We started doing. I think we did the drums February or March of 2010 at Thin Ice. And then since then we've been using Mike Varty's studio at home at the Gargoyle Studios to do the rest of the album. So it probably took us about 14 months. We had a couple of, it wouldn't be Credo without crisis and things going wrong. So we've had a number of problems. We had a lot of issues with the recording software, and we've also had people move in and stuff like that. So it's taken a long time, and it's been a lot of hard work because we've mostly all got day jobs as well. So we're not fully professional musicians. I'd love to be able to make enough money doing it, but we can't. So it's been fitting it in. And I know when I was doing the vocals, it was 2 or 3 evenings a week, and then either all day Saturday or all day Sunday in the studio. So, but I think that anybody who likes Rhetoric is going to like Against Reason. I think that the new material it still sounds very much like Credo, but it's got a bit of a more contemporary edge to it. It sounds a bit more modern.
Hello.
So.
Okay, well that's what you get when you're in the crew room of the Boerderij doing an interview. It's we're very happy. Thank you, Boerderij, for giving me the chance to have a chat with Mark here. But of course, you get disturbed every now and then. Okay, so basically, if you look at the sound of Against Reason, it's a continuation or
it's. I think it sounds more modern. Sounds a bit more contemporary. It's still got the trademark Credo sound, so there's still a lot of dueling between Mike Varty on the keyboards and Tim Burrell on the guitar, we've tried to give it a bigger sound, and the big difference for us, I think, this time is that all of Rhetoric we played live at some point before we recorded the album. I don't think we played anything from this album live before we started recording. We played Staring at the Sun a couple of times. We did a couple of shows at the end of last year, at the end of at the end of 2010, we did one with Solstice, and then we did a local venue called Riffs Bar in Swindon where we played quite a lot. And I'll do it again, sorry, right. And we played Staring at the Sun there, and it got fantastic response.
Okay.
And it's just been very unusual for us to say. I mean, our first album, Field of Vision, we played all that set live. We knew all the songs inside out. We did the same with Rhetoric. So we've recorded this, and that's given us a different set of problems because we've had to learn to play it now live.
Of course.
And this, I mean, Mike Varty's the most amazing producer. He's just such a talented musician anyway, and he obviously had this end vision of what the album was going to sound like. And there was stuff that he was asking me, well, when I was doing my parts, he was asking me to do, and I just didn't get it. I just didn't understand why he wanted me to do particular things. But now listening to the full album, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
The guy's just so gifted. I just don't know where he gets it from. He can be a cantankerous old bugger at times, but he's a fantastic musician, a fantastic engineer, a good friend. He's just, yeah, very much continuation of where Rhetoric was. But 5 years since we recorded Rhetoric, so the studio facilities have improved.
Yeah.
We've become a lot more confident in our abilities because of the success that Rhetoric had. And Mike's driven us a lot harder with this album. So.
Okay, that's very nice.
The garden course and lives are shattered, they're shattered, they're shattered, they're shattered.
I found on Rhetoric, well, at least what I think were a lot of personal lyrics. How was it on Against Reason? Can you maybe tell something what it's about?
Yeah, I suppose the Rhetoric thing was a lot of the lyrics of Rhetoric were written before I was married and before I had children. Well, my wife had children, and I helped. And a lot of the songs on there were very personal to me, about situations that I'd been in, about relationships that had gone wrong, and about how I've been made to feel, and probably how I've made other people feel. And I found that relatively easy to write about. Probably the big exception was Turn the Gun Around, and Too Late to Say Goodbye. And what we've done with this album is the writing is probably more geared around non-personal situations. There's a song on the album called Intimate Stranger, which is a bit of a continuation really of From the Cradle to the Grave. It's the same situation. Whereas From the Cradle to the Grave, most of that had actually happened. This is now reflecting on what could have happened and the way people have been. The reason we called the album Against Reason was a lot of the lyrical content of the songs is about we're all sort of in our late 40s, early 50s in Credo, so there's like over 250 years of life there, and it's all about we've been given this wonderful planet, we've been given some great opportunities, and still mankind in general is not satisfied. And the whole thing is against reason. Why on earth would so many of these things happen? The sort of lead track off the album, which is the one most people will be familiar with, is Staring at the Sun. It's about the situation of our planet, and it's about global warming and the issues that eventually, somewhere along the line, we're going to destroy this planet. So it's pretty heavy going. I mean, Tim is basically a scientist. I mean, he understands the whole thing a whole lot more than I do. I talk about it in layman's terms. And he was very passionate about writing this song and this lyric, so we worked very closely together on it. There's the second track on there is a song called Cardinal Sin, which is based on all the sort of stories and the horror stories you hear of, like the guy in Austria, Fritzl, who was burying the cellar, and the priests, the Catholic priests abusing altar boys, and it's about that whole situation. There's Against Reason, the title track's an instrumental, and that leads into a song called Insane, which is about watching the TV news and seeing what's going on around the world, people blowing each other up and killing each other in the name of love or in the name of God. I mean, what on earth is that? Again, it's Against Reason.
Okay.
There's a song called Conspiracy on the album, which is all about how people try and manipulate the facts to suit their own needs, and all the stories. We were originally going to call it Elvis on the Moon, because there's all these stories. There's people on the moon. Elvis is still alive, so we thought, Elvis on the Moon, great idea. But it's called Conspiracy now. And then the last track on the album, which is probably my favourite, which is a thing called The Ghost of Yesterday, which was inspired by Jim, the bass player, going home to Scotland and driving back into the village where he grew up, and nothing had changed in the 40 years since he was a kid, and everything just looked the same, everything felt the same, and he went to the same pubs that he used to go to when he was a kid, and like all the people, they were different people, but they could have been the people he grew up with. And I suppose Against Reason is just a very reflexive album, by a bunch of guys in middle age thinking, this is what our lives have amounted to, this is what we've come up with. So that's pretty much where we got to with it. Very little in the way of really personal, emotional, lyrics on there. And I suppose that's because I'm happily married with 2 great kids now. So, but still it's a very passionate album, a very angry album again. So I think you'll notice that when you see us live tonight. So.
Okay, well, look forward to that. And when I hear this, I haven't heard the album yet, so I'm very curious then to hear it, of course. But I I understand the themes from the songs. It's very appropriate for the time we live in.
I mean, it's a strange time we live in at the moment, isn't it?
It is.
It's such a challenging period. So many people are unsettled, and there's so much going on. There's a lyric in the song Insane which talks about the streets of Belfast. In Britain there was a long-running conflict between the Protestants and the Catholics in Northern Ireland. And how much you guys got to hear about all that sort of stuff, and and it's still going on. There are still bombs going off in Northern Ireland in 2011. Even though the peace process has been broken and all the other stuff. And that's stuff I remember hearing about that stuff in 1968 and 69. When I was 4 or 5 years old, and it's still going on. And it's people seem to be able to justify what they're doing by saying it's for their God or it's for their religion. The whole thing's just insane. It's just absolutely insane. People are going to be different, but why can't people put up with that? Why can't people just put up with the fact that they're either a different colour or a different nationality?
Okay, well, very interesting.
The places stay the same. It's just the faces change against a background of joyless conversation. We're all gathered here against a wall of drunken cheer, drowning sorrows and wishing for a few.
Before the album came out, Staring at the Sun was offered as a download. How were the responses to that?
It's been brilliant. It's been absolutely astounding. We wanted to make something available so that people would hear what the new album's going to sound like. It's actually gone to #1 in a number of radio station charts in the UK in airplay, beating off very well-known artists.
That's very nice.
And we were astounded when we found out, because it's I think it does sound quite contemporary. It's quite catchy. It's got a really good melody, but it's 10 minutes. long. And people say to you, it will never get played on the radio if it's more than 3 minutes.
Mhm.
But people are picking up on it and playing it,
Okay.
you know. So the response to it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Better than we could have ever hoped and wished for, you know. So and it gives a fair indication of what the album sounds like, I think.
Okay. Oh, that's very nice.
Did you like it?
I did. Yes. I think what you did, and I was actually talking to the guys from Palace yesterday, and they did the same thing. They did an edited version of one of the songs from their new
that's
album,
right,
and that's what I heard as well. So I think it's a good way to start. Well, cultivating the interest for the album, and then when it comes out, people are a little bit familiar with it and curious to the rest. So it's very nice. Okay, now you're performing now to support the album, and normally I ask what the future plans are, but I think it's a little too early.
Well, we've got quite a lot of dates, initial dates up until I think it's August that we've publicised it.
Okay.
We're hopefully going to be finalising a full UK tour with another well-known band, which will be excellent if we can pull that together. And we're talking to a number of bands about coming over to Europe again. We've been talking with Ari about coming over and playing support to some of the bigger bands that he's got playing at the Ball Drive, so that we can continue to expose our music to new people.
Yeah.
The new album, the next album, we've probably got about a third of that written already.
Okay.
So we're getting there. We're going to start writing, continuing writing that. Probably from the end of May onwards. We need to get these launch gigs out of the way. You know, this is only the second date. A fantastic launch gig last week in Rotherham, in the UK, with Alan Reid from he's been Palace opening for us, and Alan was brilliant. So if you get a chance to see Alan, go and see him.
Okay.
Tonight is the European debut of the album, and then next week we've got a London release date, and then we've got a couple of weeks off, and then we've got a load more dates. We're playing with people like The Tangent. We're playing with our label mates Solstice. So we've got some good shows coming up. Okay,
well that's very nice. So, if you're in the opportunity,
please come
see Credo
and come and say hello.
Live on stage anywhere. In the world.
Coming to a stage near you, and if we're not, then email me and let me know and we'll come. If you've got somewhere where we can play, we'll come and play for you.
Well, that's a nice invitation. Okay. Well, is there anything you'd like to add? Or anything you'd like to share?
No, not really. I mean, I just hope that people enjoy the new album, and we'll give it a chance and we'll listen to it. It's Retro. It's a very, very successful album for us, more than we ever believed it would be, and we hope you give this album a chance, and we'll come on and see us sometime and say hi. So thank you very much, and it's really great to meet Marcel. So support Marcel. He's doing a great job keeping prog alive, and this is a really great idea. So well done, chap.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
And thank you for talking to you.
Anytime.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, maybe next time.
Yeah, that'd be good.
We'll meet again.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be there whenever Credo comes back.
Yeah,
for sure.